Yo guys, what's up? It's Ozgun here. First of all, thanks for the massive supports on Hooked. So we are getting so much nice comments. We are climbing the Beatport charts, so thanks for all the support. And today I'm gonna show you the drops of Hooked. If you're ready, let's get into the tutorial. I'm gonna turn off the master because we mastered it in a separate project. Max actually made the mastering of the track. So let's start with the kick and bass. But first I can show you the first drop. I hope I don't get any lags. Okay, let's start with the kick and bass. So in kick, we have three different layers. So one layer is contains the main kick. And we have a top kick. Actually, it's more than a top kick. I learned it from one of the Oli James Patreon videos. So it's a really nice sample to layer with the kick. It's fitting best this kind of situations. And also I have a top kick like this. So actually the top kick, a hardstyle kick from Kashmir. We just cut it like this and took the one part. And one thing that is really interesting is what we made to the kick. So actually, as you can see, we have two different layers, but actually they are same kick, but like duplicated. It's not a different sample. Why we did this? Because we needed to pitch the kick. It was G sharp, but we needed one semitone up. So we just cut the kick two parts. The first part we didn't touch. But the second part, which contains the sub and the tonality of the kick, we just pitch it. So its key is accurate now, but we didn't lose any of the quality. So all the layers is like this. There is no crazy processing on the kick, just a bit boost, a bit more boost. And I think it's doing nothing. Yeah, that's all for the kick. And for the transients, to get a bit more click, we use this plugin to shape the transients. Let's go to the sub. For the sub, we are using a sample. It's just a sample, like a kick. The original sample sound like this. In this case, we just pitch it to our key. Max suggested this cut. I usually don't cut my sub, but in this example, it's becoming more deep, so we just cut it and we boost some of the frequencies. Boosting the E is the fifth of A, so track is in A. If you count the usable keys in the A, you will go to E. And E is really nice way to check in your sub. You can make it a bit boost, so it can resonate and give a really nice big room character to the sound. And we have an EQ like this, cut the highs, boost a bit more lows. And this crazy EQ, we just wanted to match some balances in it. We have overdrive and one more cut. That's all. So we have a sidechain. The main thing in here is overdrive. Just compare it with and without. It's making a huge difference. Okay, let's go to first drop lead. So we actually have a sample like this it's from Splice. We just cut it to change the rhythm of this, and we give it EQ, distortion, and more EQ and delay, and that's all. So we tried to make it completely different sounds from this to this. And the second lead is the feature rave lead. So I think we have two layers. Yes, the one layer is this. So the first layer is more clicky, second layer we have some attack, so we don't get that much click. One is more mono, one is more white, so they are blending nice in same sound, in same mixer channel. We have Camel Crusher, EQ, Novel Tech character, just boosting it like hell, some coloring, and also this is really good equalization plugin. It can give a really nice color to the sound. I always like to use this one, and we made one last EQ to boost the highs and the mids a bit, and then we have a reverb, but the reverb is sidechained. We actually used a send, delay, and reverb, but to fill the gaps between MIDI, like this part, we put another reverb and automated it in that part. So it's only filling the gaps like an FX. This delay is doing the same job. It's like automating in the end of phrases. So the processing is like this. The drop leads is going to a lead final bus. There are some filter and reverb, but only for automation purposes. So we have a reverb in the bus and we are sidechaining the signal with itself. Same goes for the delay. So with this kind of routing and processing, you can get really clean sounds on the leads. So they sound like this. I hope my PC allow me to play back. And of course, we have the reverse sounds. We just record a long reverb tail with the first note, and we made a reverse and put the beginning of the notes. And the leads and kick bass is like this for first drop. I can show you the drums. You will get all the sounds in the hooked sample pack as well. We have some percussions, but I think we just cut the highs, so made it more deep, like a deep tom, to give the groove. And we layered it with this. And we have claps. We are always cutting the tail of the samples because every sample got a reverb tail. So if you have separate samples with different kind of reverb tails, it's not gonna be in the context of the same track. So always make sure to create your own tails in your track. So in this case, we add some reverb, really small, but it's like its own tail. So we put the same reverb to other sounds. We will be consistent on the ambience of our track. So we have these loops. And also, guys, we have an acid shot. Let's see how it sounds without processing. Overdrive, distortion, EQ. Like we wanted to make and shape it really different way. So with this, it's more sound in the mix. I think we have some sweeps which is not in this project because like Max added them in the mastering. In this project, we are missing one sweeps, I think. Let's show you the drop fill because I think it's really interesting. You probably heard we have Fruity Effector, and which is in the Vox mode, so it's like automating here to give the moment to the sound. But if you hear, we have also some LFO, and we didn't put the sound like a wave sample to the playlist. Instead, we put it into the piano roll And when you do it, you can see some LFO settings in here. So the sound originally sound like this. So you can just automate the LFO settings, amount, and the speed. And yes, in the sampler, you can create some really cool LFO effects with any sample. And we just combine it with the Ollie James Disco big wobble sound. So it's a really cool and unique drop fill. Of course, we have some impact, and let's find where are they. Always put some low end to the fills. If you don't have low end in your build-ups, in your fills, it's gonna sound really empty. And also we have some one-shots, which is already in the break. So we're just repeating the same sounds all the time in the track to get a constant feeling on them. We have some risers and some sweep ups. I think Max already told this how to make this in the break video, so I'm not gonna retell again. Yeah guys, the first drop is like this. I think I forgot to tell you about the step. For the steps, we have an Avenger sound. So it's original sound like this. Let's find. We wanted to make it so fat, that's why we cut the lows, boost some mids, and boost the lows really much. Some overdrive and EQ, and we made it super wide with Haas effect, delay, reverb, and sidechain. And also we had a tail like this. And yeah, we have a pitch automation going on to make the sound a bit more interesting. And I think this is it for the first drop. Let's go to the second drop. Let's try to playback it. So in terms of kick and bass, we have only one difference from the first drop, which is the psytrance sound. We didn't process it that much, just cut the lows because we already have a dedicated sub. So just boost the mids, cut the sub, and then Camel Crusher to boost it a bit more. And we have a filter, so because in the second part we just filtered it in like this. Let's see how it sounds with kick and bass. But it wasn't cutting through the mix. That's why we wanted to add some hi-hat loops. So adding some hi-hats like this always helpful to enhance your bass samples. This kind of, you can add some transients to it. This time we saturated the heads, cut the lows, and then we put a transient master to boost even more. Make it tight with less sustain and make it more clicky with more attack. And we sidechain it like this. And other than that, the drums are same. But this time we have two different leads. The first lead is we have an acid lead like this. The acid sound is this. For the acid sound, actually Oli processed them and sent us stems because they were clashing in terms of the stereo field. He made this acid sound 100% mono, and he made the steps, like the leads, super wide so they are not conflict at all. It's a really good way and technique you can apply. So if you have same sounds with same power, they will probably clash. So you can make one more in the middle and one more into the sides, so they can sound good without conflicting with each other. The step sound is actually from the future rave leads. They are here. They only have some pitch automation. And as you can see, we have the reverb again to fill the gaps between MIDI. And for the acid, let's show you this preset and the processing of it. So it sounds like this. We wanted to make it super crisp, super big, like too much distortion. So we use Camel Crusher, Sausage Fattener, Novel Tech Character, all of them. And then we have just several boosts with the EQ and some cuts. Actually nothing crazy on it, just a little coloring stuff. And we have 100% mono. And for the delay and reverb, it's same as the future rave leads. There's no difference. So we use the same delay and reverb bus to put all the synths in the same space. Kick, bass, and the leads for the second drop, they sound like this. And also we have Oli James, so much Oli James samples, like white noises, drop noise impact, reverse synths. And yeah guys, the drops for the hooked like this. I hope you can apply this to your own productions and you can learn from something. And again, thank you for the massive support on the track. And it's a really big pleasure to be part of Rave Room Recordings family. I hope we are gonna bring you more tracks that we are currently working on them. So no more boring big rooms. Let's make some unique tracks together. And today that was it, guys. Thanks for watching. See you on the next video. Bye bye.
Hey guys, my name is Max Aeris, and today I'm going to do a walkthrough on our track released together with Oli James and Ozgun called Hooked. And I'm going to show you guys how we made breakdowns, build-ups, and I will show you the mastering project. Alright, let's get going. Alright guys, this is the project file, and let's start with explaining the first breakdown. It sounds like this.
Don't understand, this is something it's not. You got me locked on your love like a drug. I can't pretend it. Don't understand, this is something it's not. You got me locked on your love like a drug.
Okay, and I will start with the vocals. So for the processing, first of all, we put an EQ. We cut it down everything below.